It's Becky, and I had somebody ask in a comment about how I make my ear wires. So I was just going to do a real quick short on how I do it. I will go over the types of wire that I use, any 22 gauge wire or like a 21 gauge wire. You can do square. I wouldn't do half round. But actually square ear wires look really cool. Let me grab some of this and I will show you the tools as I'm using them. First tool is going to be your flush cutters. You're going to use them to cut uh, maybe 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches of wire. And you want two of them. They don't need to be the exact same length, but close enough when you do that. The next tool that we are going to use are these 6-step bail making pliers. You can do this with the ones that just have two different ones, but it is somewhat easier. I want these to be friends. I want them to be right next to each other the whole way. Yes, I do. Anyway, I like these because they've got the different sizes of circles that you can do this with. You could do it with really any cylinder, but I find this works the best for me. Okay, I'm going to make these flush on the ends. Then I'm going to use the smallest, roundest of my twists. I'm going to bend the wire around that. So it makes a P or a Q, depending on how you're looking at it. You want to keep both of these right next to each other for the next step, which is using the largest one. You can use the second largest too, but I like the largest just because it gives me a lot of room for my wire to stay in my ears because they tend to slide out, at least on my right ear, a lot. You bend it around like that. Almost done with the shaping. And you just take the third tool, which are these really any pliers. Any pliers, anything that you can get a nice bend with. And then you're going to want to cut off the ends of this again with the flush cutters. And then the part that I had the question asked about was how you file these in order to make it so they don't, tear up your ears when you put them in there. And I use just a little metal file like this and basically file around the end, and I'll test it with my finger and I'll see. And when it doesn't feel sharp anymore, then I know I am done. All right. And then there is an optional tool that you can use, and that is a bench block and a nylon hammer. You can hammer it to work harden it, or you can grab those pliers that you had, any flat pliers, and you can just, if it's soft wire like this, tamp it a few times in order to work harden it. And that just makes it so it isn't as likely to bend again as you're doing it. And that's how I make my favorite kind of ear wires.